everybody. I am trying out a new reading vlog type of thing where I talk about what I'm reading. So last episode, which I just literally filmed this morning for my July mid-month check-in, I was talking about how I haven't been reading lately because I've been so busy, but things have been I've caught up with my work, things have been slowing down, so I decided to start a little reading vlog. We'll see how it goes, we'll see how much I film, but I just wanted to show what I am going to be reading now. So last episode I talked about a few, like 4 books that I recently got in the mail. This is one of them, called The Horror. So it's obviously a horror novel. I don't know too much about it. I just know that you follow the main character. She's been living in the Scottish countryside for her whole life. She wants to live there, die there, but then a real estate developer comes along and tries to kick her out. So, and then also the horror, this monster also plays a part in it. So yeah, I'm going to be reading this throughout the week, or we'll see how long it takes me. Probably just gonna vlog for the next few days and then hopefully get this video out to you in a timely manner. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm starting work right now, so I probably won't be reading for a little bit. I'm gonna be listening to my podcasts while I work. I'm going to be packing orders. I'm going to work on some samples for an upcoming update, as well as dyeing some July sock sets. So I'm gonna be busy today, but I have a book cover for it. I showed this book cover a little while ago in one of my monthly updates. I forget which one, maybe June, but I made this fabric book cover. I decided to keep it covered because the cover of the novel is pretty terrifying and I read a lot on the train, and so I don't want people to unwittingly, get terrified of what I'm reading. I don't want to force people to look at a monster if they don't want to, so I put it in this nice little cover. It fits perfectly. It's got this little flap that I could use as like a bookmark, which is nice. So yeah, anyways, I'll let you know if I've read, and I'll let you know any updates. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, see ya. Hey guys, so bit of a reading update. I read just a little bit of The Horror, and it's going really fast actually. Like, I feel like I could probably just sit down and read this in one go if I wanted to. But the first chapter, even just like the first chapter, it wasn't super gory, but like I kind of regretted eating chicken while reading that, but it's been good so far. I really like it. I like the voice, the main character's voice. She's really funny. What's her name? Muriel. Muriel is a grandma with a fighting spirit, and she does not want to leave her home. And so right now what they're doing is pretty much like almost all the residents in her little town has left. They have taken the deal from this real estate conglomerate billionaire guy, and they have left the town, and it's just her and like 6 other people left in her little town, and they are trying their best to bunker down and not leave their home. So that's been going well. And I also forgot to mention that I'm listening to a new audiobook while I'm packing orders. It is called The Age of Magical Overthinking. It's a nonfiction book written by, she wrote she's the same author who wrote Cultish, which I really enjoyed. And this book is kind of about the modern era and how, and like the different ways people have not deluded themselves, but like different ways our brains kind of just come to these nonsensical conclusions, hence the name magical overthinking. But things like people being extreme fans of celebrities, like the Taylor Swift fandom, and idolizing celebrities in that way, but also things like conspiracy theories and why they've been on the up and up lately, and how social media like TikTok can kind of add fuel to the fire. So it's been really interesting. I've only like 20% of the way through, but so far it's been really catching my attention, and I really enjoy books where it's a bit more of a commentary on modern society, like modern as in like really current. Like I feel like nowadays things change so quickly that even things written in like 2010, like pre-pandemic things, are kind of out of date almost in a way now in 2024. So a couple weeks ago, I read Gulp, and for some reason, just like I gave it like a 3.5, and it was okay, but I don't know, like the voice of it and how it kind of, I could tell like it's pre-pandemic. I think it was pre-pandemic. It was just kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say it sounded out of date because it's still like the information that's written in it is still true and relevant, but I don't know, like I've just kind of been enjoying nonfiction work that is a lot more recent compared to like others. I feel like 2020s plus is like my sweet spot right now. I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, I've been really enjoying this book so far, and I am trying my best to read more nonfiction lately, so I think it's doing a good job. But yeah, just a little update. I'm gonna go pack some more orders now. Hi, setting change. I'm back at home doing computer work, but I just wanted to pop on here to give a little update about my read. So I read a few more chapters of The Horror. Things are looking grim for Muriel, but also I found out that she knits, so she wins like 100 points in my book, so I'm really worried for her right now, but have not yet gotten to like the meat of it. She's still just kind of battling the real estate business conglomerate billionaire guy, so not yet horrific, although horrific to her. But I am also at the 50% mark for the audiobook that I was listening to, which is what was it? The Age of Magical Overthinking, and I find it really interesting. The author, she usually writes topics regarding linguistics, which I think is her field, but this is not like a linguistics kind of book, and I was kind of iffy about it, but I really enjoy it actually. She brings up a lot of good points, and she brings up a lot of points that make me go, yeah, that's true, and I feel like those are always nice when it comes to nonfiction, for at least for me, for the nonfiction that I like to read. I like to kind of like listen to or read ones that kind of give me pause. Like for example, one point that she made was that there were studies where when women compare themselves, they compare themselves upwards, like they compare themselves to other women who they feel are better than them, but most men, when they compare themselves to lower, so like to other men who they feel is lesser than them, which I find really interesting. But that was in regards to like social media and how we kind of start to consume and compare ourselves to people who we didn't even know existed like a day before, and then now we're just kind of obsessed with them because we're comparing ourselves to them, and how that can be obviously a detrimental thing to our mental health. And yeah, I find it really interesting. I do really recommend it. There's a lot of great points on there. Yeah, so far it's like, I'd say a four star. Yeah. Maybe 4.25. I really like it, and I like how applicable it is to just modern life in general. So yeah, just a little quick update. I'm going to be picking up Evie from school in a little bit, or school but daycare in a little bit, and so I probably won't be reading that much. I'll probably be reading my current, like, taking care of Evie and hanging out with him read. I usually have a book with me whenever I'm hanging out with him and he's just kind of playing by himself. I read a little bit of like a big chunky book so that I could just kind of chip away at it. And right now it is The Priory of the Orange Tree, and I don't have it right now, it's in the living room, but I'll probably chip away at that. I've been enjoying it so far. I probably definitely won't be able to finish that book within this vlog, which is why I didn't really mention it in the beginning, but I am chipping away at it. It's slow going, but I'm kind of liking the pace. It kind of reminds me of the pacing that I have when I have like a Lord of the Rings marathon when I watch the movies. Like, it takes me forever to get through them, but in the end it's just kind of like the satisfying, slow kind of adventure, if you know what I mean. And I really like how in The Priory of the Orange Tree there's multiple POVs, but it's not super hard to keep track of who's who. Like, each character has a very distinct voice and situation, and even though I'm only reading like 3 pages at a time, 5 pages at a time, I'm still able to kind of keep track of what's happening with everyone, which I really enjoy, and which I find really hard sometimes in fantasy novels. So even though it's like a really big chunky book, I'm still really enjoying it. I think I'm like maybe a quarter of the way through, maybe a little less than that. So yeah, it's taking me quite a while. I think it's been like a month, and it's taken a month for me to read like 100 something or other pages. So I'll be reading that, probably a few pages tonight, and then probably read a bit more of the horror when I have a chance tonight. But yeah, just a little quick update. I'll probably update you again tomorrow about my reading, and so I'll see you then. Hi everybody. Whew. I'm sweaty. It is hot. Good morning. I am at the studio again. Today is a dye day. I'm going to be dyeing some samples for my next update today, but I just wanted to update you really quickly on my reading. So the update is that it's not much reading done. I did finish like a couple more chapters of the horror, but I'm only on like page 45. You can kind of see where I'm at. I've been kind of just reading on the train. Yeah, I'm really liking it so far. Sorry, I looked kind of like I didn't like it, but I do really like it. Sorry, it's just really hot today, and I don't know if you could hear it, and I think I put a clip before this clip of the cicadas. They are out and about. They are really loud. I'm not sure if you could hear it, but like all my windows are closed and I could still hear the cicadas ringing. So it is summertime. It is very humid, very hot, but the yarn has got to be dyed. So yeah, it's just gonna be a normal work day today. I think I'm gonna try to finish the audiobook today. I think I'm 50% of the way through. I think I have like a couple more hours left. And then I'm not sure if I'll start another audiobook or if I'll just listen to my podcast, but I will let you know then. But I just wanted to show you guys. So if you're here, you're probably here because you also like to knit. And I got this new basin. They're just kind of, sorry for all the rustling. Got some new tweed DK in. I think I'm going to have this in the shop update, in the next shop update. But I finally found a tweed I like. A lot of the times the neps are too multicolored for me. I like a little bit more neutral, and I also like it when the neps are on the darker side. So this one has like really nice black bits in it. So I'm excited to dye up samples of this, and it's got this really nice like gray undertone to it, so I think it's gonna be really cool, and it'll be perfect for spooky summer because those will ship out around November, end of October-ish, or during October, so it'll be perfect for fall. And I also got this new fiber in. I don't know if you could see how pretty is that, but this is a Paulworth Llama and Tussa Silk blend that I got, and I can't wait to spin up some samples with this. It is so pretty. It is so soft, and it's got this like really fine, like, it feels very fine is what I'm trying to say, but also at the same time it feels like it's gonna spin up super nicely, and the staple length isn't too short, so I think it'll spin up a bit more easily than like merino. Like merino is kind of hard to spin up because it's so slippery, but this one has a little bit more, not toothiness, but like texture to it that'll help with spinning. So I'm excited to dye up a sample for myself and just try it out and see how it spins up so that I can have it for the shop update. But yeah, so I have a lot of work to do, and I have an audiobook to listen to, so I will update you later. Hi everyone, I am about to have my lunch, but I wanted to update you about my reading. So I did finish the rest of my audiobook, The Age of Magical Overthinking, and I really enjoyed it. Obviously it's a recent release, so it's very applicable to current times, but there was also a lot of just touching quotes in there, and so I actually borrowed the ebook so I could just go in and like check through quotes and write it in my book journal when I have a chance. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot more heartfelt than I thought. It just like made me, like, humans are so complex, and our brains, our like primordial brains, can be so silly at times, especially in this modern world that we live in. But also at the same time, humans make the world a very interesting place in a nice way, but also, you know, obviously there's like a good side and a bad side, two sides of the same coin. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. I think I'm gonna give it maybe a 4.5 star. I'm gonna have to sit on it a little bit, but yeah, I highly enjoyed it. I highly do recommend it. It's just interesting in general to hear about like all the different types of ways that people can overthink and how people can kind of come to these silly conclusions when we comb through our social media and like our current like how the current technology kind of affects how we think, and it doesn't really list any ways to combat it or anything. Like, it's not a self-help kind of book. It's more of a, hey, this is what's happening, and then maybe you can, do a deep dive on your own terms, like what you can do to combat these certain fallacies and thought processes that your brain is just kind of automatically doing. And so I really did enjoy that. And yeah, I'm gonna go through and just kind of bookmark or highlight the quotes and the little bits that I found really interesting. So I'll have to just kind of like skim through the ebook and figure that out when I have a chance. But yeah, so I'm gonna have my lunch now. I'm gonna continue reading The Har. Still in the book cover, so it's not like you can really see it. So I'm gonna continue reading this while I eat. Hopefully it's not too horrid for the parts that I'm about to read, because I'm about to eat. But if you are wondering, Mel, what are you eating today? I'll show you. So today, this is my favorite cup ramen, which is silly to say, but like in Japan, a lot of the times at the convenience stores, they have limited edition cup ramen. They have limited edition everything, like snacks, desserts, drinks. Like, Japanese people love limited edition seasonal things, so this is a limited edition flavor. So if you are in Japan or going to be in Japan, I recommend this one. This is like a negi shio, so like a salt onion flavor, and they come with this little red packet that makes it taste like it's charcoal flavored, or like not charcoal flavored, but like charcoal grilled onion flavor. It's really good. I love onions. So this is like my current favorite thing to eat right now. So I treat myself to that. Oops. My chopsticks fell. So I have that. I know. Very, very exciting. And then I have a tuna mayo onigiri. And then for dessert, I treated myself to, what's it in English? Melon pan bread with salty butter. Jao batashi o meron pan. And this is my favorite. I love melon bread. I don't know if you know about Japanese melon bread. Do other cultures have melon bread? If so, please let me know, because I love meron pan, melon bread. And it's like this type of bread you could find in Japan. And this one is special because it has this like pat of it sounds so unhealthy, but there's this little like pat of salted butter in the center of this, and it tastes so good. So this is like my guilty pleasures lunch today. So I'm gonna eat all this and have some coffee and read my book, and then do my next batch of dyeing, because I think after this my current batch of yarn is setting right now, so it's going to be ready to be hung up to dry after I eat, and then I could do my second batch of yarn. And yeah, so we'll see. I think audiobook wise, I don't really like starting a new audiobook the same day that I finish an audiobook, just because, like, I don't know, things get mixed up in my head, and I just kind of want to be able to sit with what I just read. So I think what I'm gonna do after this is listening to podcast. But anyways, I'm gonna read this, and I'll check back with you later if I do have anything to update you with. So. Hello. It is the next day. Today is Thursday. And I just wanted to give a quick reading update. So I did end up finishing The Har, and I really liked it. I'm giving it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. It was fun. I liked the plot. Like, it was really great. So again, it's about a little lady living in Scotland, like a rural seaside town in Scotland. There's only like at the start of the book, there's only like 5 neighbors left, like a very small town, and she just will not want to leave. She was born there, raised there, wants to die there, and a big billionaire is buying up all the land to build and develop like new homes or something like that. And so you follow her. I loved Muriel. Muriel's great. She knits, so she could be my friend. She is like feisty, and she does not give a crap about what you think, but also she's like very sweet and kind and just like a sweet Scottish grandmother. And I really liked following her throughout the book. I really like the atmosphere, like the seaside, gloomy, cold, Scottish beach village kind of atmosphere was really nice. Never been to that part of Europe, and I would love to go visit the seaside there. I'm guessing it's very much not like the SoCal seaside where I grew up. So yeah, it gave like a very nice gloomy atmosphere to the whole thing. And what else? The writing was good. It wasn't like amazing, but it was really good, especially when I read like horror, these types of like horror novels. It's the writing is usually kind of set aside, or like, I don't know, put off to the side because the focus is kind of more on the horror. But there were parts in this book where I was very into the quotes. Like there were some quotes that I wanted to highlight, and so it was just like a good writing. And the plot obviously was really good. I did not see where it was going, and I really enjoyed the direction it took after things kind of like the ball started rolling, and the monster kind of showed up at the scene. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, actually. I'm not giving it a 5 because I kind of reserve 5 stars for things that make me really emotional. And it didn't make me emotional, but there were touching moments in the book that I appreciated. So yeah, if you're into horror novels, I highly recommend The Har. It's nice and short. Finished it in 2 days, so yeah, finished a book. And then, so for my next read, I realized that I have to read this book. This is actually a little book club pick. So me, my husband, and my 2 brothers-in-law, we all kind of have like a little, not sibling because my husband is not my sibling, but like we all have like a little book club together. And this pick is my husband's pick because he's reading it in Japanese. I've already read this book, and there is a part that makes me cry. And for those of you who read it, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's towards the end. And so I'm not going to read that part because I really don't want to go through that again. But I remember like why it made me cry, so I'm just going to skip that part. But I still have yet to finish like maybe like I'm like halfway through the part that I need to read, essentially, because there's like 4 separate parts in this book. So I need to read this before the weekend because we have a book club meeting to talk about this book. But I'm pretty sure you all know about it. I mean, it's like a huge novel. So for those of you who don't know, it's Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. And in this book, there is a kiseten, a little cafe where you can go and you can travel back in time, but there are certain rules and like stipulations and things like that. It's very much magical realism, I feel like, because obviously, you know, with time travel books, you kind of have to consider like the butterfly effect, and you can't really take this book too seriously. It's more so about like the relationships between these people who decide to go back in time. And you can only go back in time you have to come back to your current time before the coffee gets cold. That's one of the stipulations in the book, and there's also other rules and stuff like that you have to follow. But yeah, I read this book maybe like a few years ago, but I still kind of remember it. Everything's pretty still kind of fresh on my mind. Like when I read it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. I don't know if it's because I'm rereading it and I kind of already know everything, so I'm a little bored. That might be it, because it's a reread and it's not a very action-packed kind of... It's not a very active book. Like, they're in a coffee shop. You have to stay in the coffee shop to go back in time. Like, you can only talk to people within the coffee that have been to the coffee shop with you. Like when you go back in time, like you can't just go anywhere in the world. Like you have to stay in the coffee shop. So it's very like insular in its like atmosphere or environment. You can't really do much, and so it's a lot of talking and conversations, which is nice. And like the points that this book kind of makes in regards to like all the different relationships that it kind of spotlights. Like each section is a different person, and they like talk to their husband, or they talk to their ex-boyfriend, or you know, like each segment has their own kind of relationship that you explore, which is interesting. But also at the same time, when I'm rereading it, I already kind of know everything, so it's a little boring. So I don't know if that's why I'm just like whatever about it, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a very talky book, and I'm just kind of waiting for something to happen, but I already know what is going to happen, so it's not as exciting for me, if that makes sense. So yeah, well anyways, I have to finish it just to like, you know, be able to discuss it during the weekend. And then yeah, I'm going to be listening to, so I have some more dyeing to do, sample dyeing to do today, and then tomorrow I'm going to be taking some photos, probably dyeing some more yarn. But today I'm probably going to listen to some podcasts this morning, and maybe after lunch I will start my new audiobook, which is Thirst. I don't really know what it's about. I think it's like a sapphic vampire thing, but it's not really a romance. I'm not sure. I'm just pulling that out of my head. But I'll let you know if I do end up reading it. But yeah, finished a book. So I finished one audiobook, one physical book, and hopefully I'll finish this either today or tomorrow. I'm not in a super big rush about it. It's a pretty fast, easy read. Yeah, and like the font is quite large, so, and it's very short, so I could finish that in a couple days. So yeah, I'm gonna get started on work. Yeah, hopefully this video is not too boring. I feel like I'm just sitting around talking, but hopefully you find this interesting. But yeah, see ya. Hi everybody. This is gonna be my last check-in for this vlog. I didn't really talk to you this morning because I didn't really get that much reading done last night, and I kind of was just reading during lunch today. I went down the river, walked down the river, and walked to my neighborhood udon shop that's near my studio. So I'll put some clips in here. But yeah, I didn't do that much reading yesterday night because I was doing some computer work, and then I just kind of pooped out. So this will be my last little check-in. I pretty much was just reading before the coffee gets cold, and it's okay. My second read is, again, not as amazing. I didn't find it amazing in the first read anyways, although there is that part that makes me cry that I'm not gonna read this time. But other than that, yeah, it's like good average to me. Yeah, it's just like a fun book to read. Nothing much to say about that. I did also start a new audiobook though. I started Thirst, and it's really good. It's in the POV of, well, it's not kind of stated explicitly or anything, but it kind of sounds like she was one of Dracula's like changed women, you know? Is it in the original Dracula where there are women vampires within his castle? So she's kind of one of those original Dracula's kind of, I don't know what you would, in the book she's more of a captive rather than like a partner or of anything. So she escapes Dracula's castle, she escapes the village, she finds her way in Buenos Aires, and the book is translated from the Spanish, by the way. So she's in South America, and you kind of follow her story there and what she ends up doing. But I really like it so far. I like this POV, and it's a lot more gorier than I thought, which I don't mind because I do like horror. So it is a lot more gorier than I thought, but also melancholy and lonely and sad at the same time. Like, you can't help but to feel for her, even though she is a vampire and she's like killing all these humans around her in order to drink blood, you know? But it is kind of like a study in loneliness and what it means to have to live forever, which is not a new thing, but I do really enjoy following this POV of a lonely vampire lady. So I'm really enjoying it so far. I think I'm like about the halfway point. So things are slowly picking up. I mean, it's already picked up. It's pretty like action packed, even though there are points, slow moments where she's kind of just surviving. But things are slowly picking up. There's another character that's been introduced, and you kind of wonder how she plays into it, and I kind of have a guess because of the summary, but I obviously want to know how that comes about. So yeah, I've just been reading those or listening to those and hoping to finish before the coffee gets cold tonight, because I do have that book club meeting on Sunday, and I'll probably finish Thirst next week when I come into work. I'm usually off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, since that's when Evie is home from daycare, and we usually have family days then. So I don't usually listen to audiobooks when I'm not working, so I'll probably finish Thirst next week. And yeah, so I'm not sure how long this video is and how interesting this is. But I hope you like the change of pace and just me checking in on you every now and then. Hopefully it's not too boring. But let me know if you've enjoyed this type of video, and please let me know what you've been reading, because obviously I'm always down for new recs. I'm feeling like a bit of horror though, so if you do have any horror, maybe thriller novel recommendations, please let me know in the comments below. But I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you next video.